Hi guys, Rachel Reeves delivered her budget on Wednesday, and of course it was welcomed by some, while the response was anger and disappointment from others. However, I think there are a few key aspects we can take away from it. Investment is core, which the Chancellor hopes will create jobs. The poorest in society are seeing their pay rise, which should shore up support with certain voters. The NHS is getting a boost, and of course the markets haven't been spooked. However, the reaction from the media has been pretty poor. Here, Beth Rigby of Sky News seems to miss the overall picture and instead focus on talking points that matter more to the Westminster bubble than ordinary people. Have a listen.
You honestly saying that you have a democratic mandate for the measures that you have announced today, tens of billions of pounds in increased spending and tens of billions of pounds of tax rises, none of which is in this document. You have a democratic mandate for this.
The first line of the first step in our manifesto was to return stability to our economy. That is the most important thing that I had to do as Chancellor. And we do have a mandate for bringing that stability back to the economy.
I think there'll be a lot of people thinking that they voted for you and you have just done the biggest tax and spend budget that we have seen for decades, and that is not what they signed up for.
Oh my goodness. I think Beth Rigby needs to get out of Westminster. She needs to get out of London. She's still using this type of rhetoric that we were hearing back in the 1990s and the 2000s, a tax and spend budget. The public don't care about that. What the public want is fully funded public services. They want to see growth. They want to see wages increase. They want to see their quality of life improve. They don't care about borrowing. They don't care about spending. They care about an improvement. I really think, this is the sort of language, tax and spend budget, tax and spend government. This is the sort of language we heard years ago. It's no longer relevant.
There were two choices that I had to make today as Chancellor of the Exchequer. The first was whether I was going to be open and honest.
Do you accept that, though? Can you see that the public might feel cheated? Well, even if there's a reason, you've explained the reasons, can you see how it looks?
I think the public know the state that the economy was in and the state that our public services were in and the damage that the previous government did to our public finances.
Can you see that people might feel like you've broken their trust?
And the first...
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Look, some people will feel that the government have broken their trust, but their priority is not trust. Their priority is fixing things. Like the government have said that when they came in, things are going to be difficult. It's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of pain. But we're going to try and improve things. Now, we have to wait and see the consequences of this budget. We'll have to wait and see the exact impact it's going to have. But so far, it seems to be doing what it's supposed to do. Inject cash into society, raise people's wages, increase taxes, of course, in order to fund a lot of these things, but return to some sort of growth. Now, the growth figures we're going to look at are pretty poor. It's almost stagnation, but it's better than nothing maybe. But they were not promising something big. They were promising to steady the ship.
The first commitment we made was to bring stability back to the economy. And if I had swept this all under the carpet, I would not have been able to bring that stability back to the economy.
In the manifesto,
and it was stability that the last government forfeited, which sent mortgage rates through the roof.
In the manifesto, you criticised the Conservatives for taking the tax burden to a 70-year high. What is it now at the end of this Parliament after your budget? What will it be?
I'm going to be really straight with people. The tax burden overall goes up. But
What's
we've
it go
made decisions.
Up to, from where?
It's the highest burden of tax. I recognise that. But the previous government...
38% of GDP against 36.4%.
Once again, it doesn't matter. The public don't care about that. Some people do, political commentators do, economists do, the opposition do, but the average person on the street doesn't care about this. And I'm not sweeping this under the carpet. I'm not trying to deflect here. I'm just trying to talk about something that's closer to the reality of ordinary people than what Beth Rigby is pushing here. Has the government been dishonest? Perhaps it has. Has it broken some of its manifesto pledges? Perhaps it has as well. But the focus of the public is not on that. The public's focus is on, are things going to improve? They're giving the government, in a sense, a blank check. You can do whatever the hell you want if you're willing to, if you're going to improve things for ordinary people, if you're going to rebuild the NHS, you can raise taxes as much as you want. Are you going to improve the quality of living of ordinary people, get people out of this cost of living crisis? If you're going to do all these things, we're willing to back you on that. We're not going to criticize the government. And I think for the average person on the street, if they start to see things improve, they don't care about tax thresholds or fiscal drag or borrowing, the cost of borrowing, any of these things.
4%, which you've been very critical about.
Well, the last government, they increased taxes, but public services got worse. We will improve our public services with the commitments we've made around the National Health Service and schools today, but we have asked the wealthiest in our society and business to pay a bit more, whilst sticking to our manifesto commitment.
Okay, so once again, we'll have to wait and see if the reaction from the public is positive going forward. We're not going to really see that until, next April in many cases, as many of these policies start to kick in. But once again, as I said before, I think the priority of the ordinary person on the street, of the British people, is to see a quality of life improve. They don't care about the nuts and bolts of this. They just want to see the NHS functional again. They want to see the NHS waiting list come down. They want to be able to access a GP. And they're willing to, for the moment, not sure how long this will last, but they're willing for the moment to write the government a blank check, saying, look, you can lie to us, you can increase taxes if you're previously saying that you were not going to do that, if the end goal is something positive. Now, I could be wrong. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.